Hi everyone, this is Harry Hoffmann, Global Member Care Network. This is the Member Care Toolbox, and today I talk about leadership styles in different cultures. All right, let's get started. I come from a family in Germany where political discussions were part of our lives daily, weekly. On one side you have the labor union defending the rights of the employees, and on the other side you have the employer, the corporations, the employers who were looking for their own interests. And so this is the traditional labor employer kind of battle. And that was part of my upbringing, really, the atmosphere of political discussions and identifying the pros and cons. And obviously my parents were on the labor union side. When I started my first leadership job as part of a joint venture in China, I became an employer over about 30 Chinese people. And I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to do a good leader that satisfies, that pleases my parents' attitude towards the labor union and towards the workers' welfare. A lot is written about leadership styles in the literature, but not so much is written about intercultural leadership styles or leadership across cultures. Let me simplify this whole picture by focusing on two sort of opposite styles of leadership. One is the democratic leader and the other one is the autocratic leader. The democratic leader gives freedom, gives to his or her staff the freedom to make their own decisions, invites for questions, listens and takes input seriously, maybe even makes team decisions as a team based on 51% or so. Democratic leader is personal and relatable. I can talk to you. So there is no power distance. So we are on the same level. The leader is one of us, and he sits maybe with the rest of us in the same room, like an open office. On the other side, you have the autocratic leader. He leads with precision and authority, announces decisions top down, is directive and tells you what to do, and also expects you to do what you are being told. He or she, obviously. The leader is sort of up there. There is a distance. There is a certain fear level to talk to the leader. And the leader usually sits in his or her own office room. So separated from the rest, the distance. When I grew up in Europe, I grew up in with a democratic leadership style expectation. I expected to be heard, I expected to be talked to be included and involved in decisions. And with this kind of concept, I then moved to China and to Asia. I value freedom, I value a low power distance, so the democratic is high and the autocratic is low. But then in Asia, I was then confronted with another expectation and another awareness of leadership. Like looking at the term safety, when do employees feel safe? They feel safe when they are told what to do. So people felt more safe in Asia with a rather autocratic leadership style and a low democratic leadership style. I felt safe with a high democratic leadership style and a low autocratic leadership style. So these are cultural clashes then in leadership styles that happened. Another area is team health. I feel like I have a positive sense of team health when we are relatable across different hierarchies. Other cultures have a sense of team health when there is a very clear structure, when you know who you are, what your position is, and you know what to do, you know who to report to. So again, this sense of safety relates to team health. And for me, the relatability across hierarchies relates to team health. And there are tons of other categories, and where the autocratic and the democratic value differs between one culture to another. And so this is important as a leader, and most expatriates become leaders as you move to another nation, that you understand this and that you have a sense of who you are and what the other people are that you work with, what your expectation is, what the expectation of the other person is, and that you adjust. Because in some cultures and in some intercultural environments, you cannot work with a democratic leadership style in the most effective way. And in other cultural settings, you cannot work with the autocratic, directive, top-down leadership style in the most effective way. So you have to be flexible depending on the people, on the team, on the purpose, on the environment, have to be flexible. And this is a leadership skill or a leadership intelligence that needs to be learned by leaders who work cross-cultural, by expatriates who move cross-cultural, to be aware of themselves and others. Very, very important. So what is our learning here? Number one is you bring your own leadership style as an expatriate to a foreign nation. On values, leadership style, leadership expectations that was formed in your childhood and formed in your home and nation you grew up. That's number one. Number two, you will meet another leadership expectation where you move to a foreign nation. An intercultural team or a local team, wherever you move to, you are facing leadership expectations. And usually in intercultural work, international work, these don't match. And number three is you have to adjust your leadership style as an expatriate between autocratic and democratic, somewhere in between, and that's not static. So depending on your team, depending on individual people, depending on circumstances, times, the flow of your work, you have to adjust and be flexible. So the leadership skill in an international, intercultural environment is actually quite important for your team's performance. The flexibility, maybe that's why it's called lean leadership, which means flexible leadership, lean management, lean leadership. That's the new buzzword in the management literature, and lean means flexible. So be flexible, adjust your leadership style, and self-reflect. Maybe that's number four, be aware of yourself, self-reflect, and reflect the local culture to adjust accordingly. I hope this is helpful, and I see you again next time with another tool for the Member Care Toolbox. Bye for now.